is canceled. SXSW is canceled. HTC cancels its Vive ecosystem conference in lieu of doing it in VR. And the biggest question on all of our minds is Half-Life Alyx teleport only? All that and more on this week's VR news. In VR news this week, there has been a vicious rumor going around. People have been showing early footage of Half-Life Alyx, and some of them were stuck using teleportation. This led to a big rumor online that Half-Life Alyx is teleport only. It's point to point. We're not going to have full locomotion. This is not true. Over at IGN, they posted some gameplay that shows the options menu showing 4 distinct types of motion. The first being snap teleportation. That's when you teleport, you immediately end up there. The second being teleportation with a fast movement, showing you going from point to point, but you actually see the motion of moving. Third is full locomotion based on which way your head is aiming. And fourth, full locomotion based on which way your hand is aiming. This rumor was born out of footage that has been seen online, and it's being dispelled quickly as everyone needs to know this game is going to have full locomotion. They're not going to do that to us at this point in VR. Valve knows better. E3 and SXSW conferences have both been canceled due to coronavirus concerns. E3 was scheduled for June 9th through June 11th this year, and it is being canceled due to coronavirus. This is being met with some criticisms because many are believing that, like the flu, coronavirus will be gone by the time it starts to warm up in the late spring. There is no definitive evidence that coronavirus will just go away when the warm weather comes, and they are taking every precaution. This is showing that coronavirus is being taken much more seriously by the industry, by America in general, and it's definitely, everyone is starting to feel some sort of an effect from this. Just like E3, SXSW is also being canceled. And there's a lot of controversy going on because they are refusing to issue refunds at this point. We'll see more on that as the story develops, and this is again in response to coronavirus. HTC's annual Vive ecosystem conference has been not necessarily canceled, but changed or delayed. They are talking about having the entire conference in virtual reality. Now, this is an interesting move for the VR industry, as many of these conferences are to show off new technology in VR, to let people try it. And it's not necessarily something you can do inside of a headset. You can't try a new motion simulator, but you can see it being demoed. This not only changes the landscape of what do conferences look like, but who all could attend. Could there be a completely open conference that every single person could attend if they want to in VR? The Valve Index is back in stock, or at least it was back in stock. If you were one of the few on the first day when it came back open on the 9th, you were able to buy a headset and get it before Half-Life Alyx comes out. Now, they are being said they are producing plenty more units, but you are going to be waiting possibly till mid-April or even later now if you are to order yours now. Quest owners will be happy to hear that Oculus has found another way to squeeze more horsepower out of the Oculus Quest headset. They are talking about using AI algorithms to make the Quest have more GPU power. Now, this is all still early and is considered purely research by Facebook. The image would actually be rendered at a lower resolution, and then a super resolution algorithm would be upscaling this, which would essentially take less GPU power. Now, this is of course being said, this is purely research. This may never make its way to the Quest, but it is interesting to hear what kind of research they're doing. Could this affect the Quest, or could this affect the next headset like the Quest? Only time will tell. Live, the very popular software used by mixed reality creators such as Jaybratt, announced beta for Oculus Quest mixed reality. This can even be utilized on an iPhone or most iOS devices after 2018 connected to a PC. And the most interesting part of this does not require a green screen. Now, these cameras have depth sensing technology built into them. That means that they can sense how far away the person is. You set this up, and then it edits out the background and puts you in the mixed reality. This, of course, is not going to look as clean or as impressive as using a green screen, but it's amazing that now someone with an iPhone and a Quest can essentially get mixed reality through it. We do have some footage here of what this looks like so far being tested with just an iPhone and a person playing a game on the Oculus Quest in mixed reality. And as you can see there, That is not nearly as good, of course, as using a green screen, but that's amazing that they're even able to get it looking like this with a full background and everything still possibly interacting around the camera. This is something that could be great for if you were having people over to play the Quest and you want to just make them some easy Instagrammable videos to take home with them. You could use their iPhone, record them, and have them in the mixed reality environment, even in your living room without having to have a big green screen or something cumbersome in the way. Have you ever wondered how long it would be before we would start to see VR and augmented reality come together in such a way that you could be sitting in a chair playing a racing game holding a steering wheel, but you would see your physical hands on that steering wheel in the car? Well, we may be one step closer, Varjo says, with their new XR-1 headset. This has built-in cameras into the front that can potentially insert parts of your environment into the virtual world with you. So instead of games having to render a set of hands that are tracked and feel like yours, you could potentially see your own hands inside the game with you. Now, this can have a lot of applications, not only for VR, AR, but also any sort of content creation. You could actually be able to essentially see yourself in it without having to go through all the trouble of having a green screen all around you and you being on the other side of it and then editing that into the video. This opens up a lot of possibilities, and it's definitely clear that Varjo may have a strong future in the VR community if they can find a way to make their headsets actually consumer approachable as far as price goes. The Varjo XR-1 is currently $9,995. So these are industrial headsets set towards business and developers. That will be a long ways before we start seeing these in many people's homes at the price of $10,000. In more local news, Onset VR has finally launched their anticipated all-metal VR stand for the Oculus Quest. And for the first time ever, you can use code Jaybratt to get 20% off of this. Now, none of these proceeds go to Jaybratt, but it is still something noteworthy to the channel and very exciting that we have our first discount code with our name on it. Thank you so much for hanging out for this week's episode of VR News. I am Jaybratt, and I will see you in another reality.